Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers, and welcome to another video. So last night, Channel 4 Groomed. This is was an actual documentary, a real documentary, not one that the Labour government will claim is, but an actual documentary which went into harrowing detail about the abuse of young girls by grooming gangs. Of course, predominantly Asian men. Now, I'm going to also use this moment to address people like Narinder Kaur, that race-baiting, grifting little cow, where just recently some white guys were arrested for grooming and having sexual relationships with children, PDFs. And her and many other left waffer accounts moaning because you right-wing accounts haven't mentioned this or banged on about this. Well, you see, the reason that isn't is because these guys were reported, investigated, arrested and prosecuted and imprisoned without years and years of cover-ups, of insulting victims, none of that. They weren't exposed to politicians, councillors, police, judiciary, social services, and everybody just letting them down and insulting them and calling them the problem. And that is the truth. That is where it all boils down to. So the reason we don't moan about that is because we're happy that those little vile bastards got caught and were dealt with without anyone pretending it wasn't happening. And unfortunately, what this does show is these members of the left waffer, especially Narinder, race-baiting grifter Kaur, is the fact that they just don't get it. You see, they will weaponize and politicize and change the narrative to suit their viewpoint, irrespective of what it actually means. And to be fair, shame on you, because if you watched that show last night, you would never ever say that again. And it was disgraceful as an Englishman to sit and watch that and realise that that has happened in my once great country. And I will and always can say once great, because it's just fallen. I mean, when you've got somebody asking a question to President Trump's spokeswoman, would you offer asylum to those who don't get free speech in the United Kingdom? And they go, that would be something we'd look into. It's damning. And then after watching it and being moved by it, because I have done a fair few videos recently on the grooming gang scandal, and I'll keep talking about it because those in power don't want you to talk about it, because it exposes their deliberate turning of a blind eye. I wanted to know why the government weren't pushing this one. If you want to know what I'm looking sort of at me, what do you mean pushing it? Well, you see, when somebody who's a Labour supporter and a Labour voter created a piece of fiction which was loosely based on an actual event, but of course race swapped, this was portrayed as the most powerful documentary ever written, even though of course it simply wasn't a documentary. And this is the one that all school children have to watch because it is that important. And it really isn't. because what it does do is highlight nothing more than white man bad, white males bad, white boys bad, and in reality doesn't really reflect knife crime. So that one has to be shown in all schools, and I haven't heard anything about that, so it's gone quiet. So if somebody can correct me in the comments section, has it gone quiet? Have they just decided not to bother with it anymore, or what? Because it was all in the news and now it really isn't. So you look at that made up piece of fiction that's been pushed, because it's not even made up fiction, let's be honest, it's just brutalistic socialist Labour propaganda. That's what it is. Like, we're going to ban ninja swords and zombie knives. Just shows they have no idea what's going on. So that is being pushed. Yet this, and I think there was a film, is it called Three Little Girls? I'll put the links to that as well down there, which was a film released a while ago about girls' experiences in grooming gangs. These, nothing. Complete and utter silence. I mean, an actual documentary based in actual fact, which exposes the terrifying underbelly of our society, is ignored. I'm going to play you a clip now, and this is a girl at school explaining to mum and dad what it's like for her to be in a predominantly Asian school. Because the one thing people seem to forget is the grooming gang scandal isn't something that was just happened in the past. It's still happening now. And this mental attitude is still prevalent now. But of course, it's white boys' misogynistic behaviour that is the problem, not a religion that makes, in fact, it is entirely based on misogyny, actual, real misogyny. So just sit back and listen to this girl explain what her day is like at school.
Party.
And you go to a local school?
Yeah.
Have you lived in this area all your life?
Yeah.
You're having problems at school. Can you just elaborate on the kind of problems that you're having?
Asian boys coming up to me and saying, I'm going to rape you, and if you don't go with me, I'm going to punch you in the face with a knuckle duster, and if you don't, give me a blowjob.
And this is happening at the school to several girls, is it? It's not an individual case?
No, it's happening to lots of girls.
Do you think the teachers and the authorities are aware of this?
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably aware that the Edge of the City programme focused on young girls like yourself who are being targeted by Asians to be groomed in this particular area. Do you think that was an accurate description of what is happening?
Yes.
Have you contacted the police regarding them threatening to rape you?
Yeah.
And what's the police response has been?
They said that they're going to look into it.
And that is it?
Yeah.
What's your teacher's response been?
The pupils are going to get excluded for 15 school days.
Right, and that is it?
Yeah.
There's also the accusation that young Asian males are hanging outside schools in flash cars, basically intimidating young girls like yourself with threats. Is that the case?
Yeah.
And this is happening, what, once a week, twice a week?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
And the authorities know it's happening, but they're not doing anything about it? And how do you feel when you're targeted by these people?
I feel intimidated by them and scared.
You see, that is what's happening right now. Right now. But because it's done by a demographic that, to quote Keir Starmer, to the Muslim communities, don't worry, we will protect you. He said that on the Southport riots, you know, the thing they covered up and lied about there as well. Very good at these cover-ups. And if you're wondering about the grooming gangs, did a video where Jess Phillips admits that there's nothing but cover-ups, because this is what this Labour government thrives on: lies, deceit, cover-ups. And if that doesn't work, arresting, using the Counter-Terrorism Act for the police to be your thought police and ultimately get you put in prison because you dare question the dictatorship. How this isn't being pushed further and harder surprises me. But then it doesn't. It shouldn't. Because let's be honest, the grooming gang thing keeps getting pushed away and it keeps coming back. Recently, Elon Musk did it and it was all that politicians could talk about until they got bored of it and realised where it went, and then they had to hush it away. Remember that Tommy Robinson spoke out against grooming gangs and kept highlighting grooming gangs and highlighting how the religion of Islam is a misogynistic creation. And where is he now? Yeah, that's right, in prison on a civil charge. And we'll discuss Tommy in a later video. This has probably got some more subs to just disappear now, because mentioning Tommy Robinson makes you a neo-Nazi or something. I don't know. It's just, but that just shows you that instead of, and we have this issue throughout society with any problem we have now, is if somebody comes to you and highlights an issue and a problem, we don't try and solve that issue or problem. What we do is we try to destroy the messenger. Because it's easier to pretend it's not happening by vilifying those who raise questions, and if we can, put them in prison and state torture them, because that's exactly what's happening with Tommy Robinson right now. And if we could terrify people by using the the Counter-Terrorism Act and use it for the means to terrify somebody by illegal state interrogations, the better. The whole idea of the arrests for Southport were because they wanted people to be silenced. They wanted people to see what happened to these people and be terrified about speaking out. Some of us ignored it, even though we know what will probably happen to us if things keep going the way they're going. Grooming gangs won't go. I mean, I read out on my channel a victim statement of somebody who has experienced it and how they've been treated since. And I've got a follow-up video which I'm going to do with another comment that little Kitty said about how the police and the justice system treated her. Because we've got to keep talking about this, because they don't want us to talk about this. A fantastic programme about it is on the telly and you hear nothing. Nothing in the media. Remember how the media never shut the fuck up about adolescence for a week or even 2 weeks? Nothing but about this made-up propaganda film. Pushed left, right and centre. Never shut up about it. Groomed comes out about an actual thing, and have you heard anything on the media? No. Radio silence. Total radio silence, because they don't want you to keep talking about it, because they know how far it goes and they're terrified. If you're not prepared to speak out against it and you're prepared to vote against inquiries, you're part of it. Shame on you. Any case, 2 videos coming up at the end of this. One will be the last one I uploaded. The other one will be the one that the gods of YouTube with his mighty algorithm have selected just for you. It's called The Chosen One. If you agree with what I'm saying, like what I'm doing, then you just hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing. It's free. And every now and again, if you leave it for a bit, YouTube will just get rid of it, take your subscription off if it feels like it. Pretty much like your notification bell that you can ding, which I keep forgetting to mention, but I keep forgetting to mention it because people keep having it turned off. But it's there. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to engage in the comment section, which seems to be okay again for the moment until they throttle that back again. Let me know what you feel. Remember, all of these things are my opinions. I'm not telling you what to think or how to think or what to say or what you should be doing. It's just how I feel about things, how I see things. If you agree, you agree. If you disagree, that's fine. You can let me know in the comment section why you disagree. Freedom of speech is actually a thing that's well, I encourage on my channel, but YouTube keep getting in the way of it. Any case, there are ways to support the channel if you want to do such thing as Patreon, buy me a coffee and all those things. The links are all down below, including the merch shop, which will be having some new stuff done very, very soon. And with that, as I nicely warmly cook in my car, because it's a beautiful 24 degrees here, and surprisingly enough, everything's fine and no one's dying, I'm going to love you and leave you. So, until the next one.
If it's an arrow at the bottom. Why would you do that?
It's a spider without the water spouts. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried